I've just pulled over here and wondered why my hand and my arm is really itching and burning. Can you see how red that's going? Because there was some kind of ant in there chewing away at my skin, obviously biting me. Anyway, good evening and welcome to the video. Hope you're doing very, very well. This is a video I completely didn't plan on doing yet. I was planning on keeping it a secret a little bit longer, but I've bought a new bike. Well, it's not a new bike, but I bought a new bike to me. I had an absolutely incredible evening out on it yesterday, and I thought, do you know what? I don't want to hide this anymore. I'm going to reveal it. I'm going to reveal myself. There will be a full collection riding home video, but I thought I'd just bring you this video to show you what I've bought and tell you why I bought it, I guess. It's really filthy as well because I've just come down what is essentially a green lane to find somewhere quiet, and it's covered in bug splash from yesterday. Now, before I show you this, obviously the Patreons know, and there are a few select people that are aware of this. Have a thought in your head right now of what you reckon I've bought, or even stick it in the comment section below. Guarantee whatever you think it is, it's wrong, because it doesn't scream me at all. I'm going to give you a few hints. It's something I've always wanted, but that won't help you at all. It is a V-twin, which some of you are going, I think I know which way he's going. Nope. And it's 29 years old. Yep. Bet you didn't see that one coming. It is, of course, the Ducati 916 Biposto. Oh my God, look at it. So yes, people, this is it. This is my 1995 Ducati. And when I picked it up, it had 6,800 miles on. It's done about 700 miles in the last 15 years. Arguably I paid a little bit too much money for it, but I didn't have 10-15 grand sitting in my bank account, so I had to look at something that I could finance if I wanted to. I also wanted some form of a warranty with buying an old bike like this, because as much as I love Ducati 916s, I never even thought I'd come to the point where I'd actually be able to own one, so I've never really known what the ownership is like. Obviously it's a nearly 30-year-old Ducati. It's going to have nearly 30-year-old Italian electronics, which we all know aren't exactly great. I bought it through the bike specialists up in Sheffield. A few people think well, let's put it this way, they know how to price their bikes. Let's just put it that way. I got a warranty that comes with it. The bike has had a full major service, including the belts. It's had a fresh MOT put on it, and I went through and tweaked a few little bits that I was like, I wasn't happy about that, wasn't happy about that. So they've done all of that before I picked it up, which is brilliant. It starts and idles beautifully. Basically, from the MOT history, it looks like it was off the road for about 10 or 11 years. Someone bought it, recommissioned it, spent about 1,500 quid on it. So I'm just reading some of the screenshots of the work that was done. Chain slider, new chain, new sprockets, fork uppers, fork bushings, fork seals, fork clamps, crank bearing left, crank bearing right, main and lay shaft bearing, final drive seals, blue conrod bearing, crank plugs, clutch plate sets, belt pulleys, head gasket. It had a new rear shock put on. It's done about 150 miles since that service. It's probably had 2.5 grand, maybe 3 grand's worth of work done on it in the last couple of years. So mechanically it should be absolutely faultless. Electronically, it's a 1995 Ducati. We will see. Some of you purists will be screaming at the at your screens because it's not 100% original. You will notice that it's got the 5-spoke Marchesini wheels on it from factory. These have the 3-spoke gold wheels. I think these look better, but yeah, they're not original. Obviously the seat hump is not original. This is a Biposto, so the 2-seat, whereas this is obviously the Monoposto conversion. I think these are Termignonis, but I need to take them off to actually see if they've got a part number on them somewhere, and apparently you can't see that with them fitted. They do have the carbon weave, which is exactly the same as Joe's, which are Termis. It's got the same clamp on it and everything. Everything in here, if you know your Ducatis, all of this electronics looks not discoloured or charred at all. It's got a brand new battery in it. Obviously this one has the shower front and rear suspension, whereas when you get something like an SP, it will have the front and rear O-lins. To be fair, the only real difference between this and the SP3, I think it was, is the SP3 had the rear O-lin shock, but it still had front shower. Brembo's all round, obviously a single-sided swinging arm, which looks stunning. Brand spanking new chain and sprocket. It has got the upgraded Oberon slave cylinder here, which is great, which means you don't get that stupidly heavy clutch. It's still quite heavy because it's a old Ducati, but it's way better. Why did I want a 916? Who doesn't? Like, it's the iconic Ducati. Yes, a 996 is technically better. Yes, a 998 is even better than that, being the last of this iteration of Ducati. No, I couldn't afford an SP or an R or anything like that, so I couldn't afford a 998R or anything like that. But even saying that, this thing, it is the Ducati that everyone knows from the 90s, and that's what I wanted. I bought something like this because, one, Dave Ashpole let me ride his Aprilia. Thanks, Dave, you've cost me money. Two, Joe has got a Ducati 999, which looks and sounds incredible. Thanks, Joe, you've just cost me a load of money. Tom from A Bike Thing's got a classic Fireblade, which looks the nuts. Thanks, Tom, you cost me a load of money. This is going to sound really weird, but the other reason I kind of wanted a not so special one is because I want to use it. If I bought something like a 916 SPS with 6,000 miles on it, not only would it cost me 35 grand, which I can't really justify, like every mile I put on it, I'd just be sitting there thinking about it depreciating. To run through a few little bits on it that I'm going to get done because they need doing. Most of the paintwork is pretty spot on. The worst bit about it is here, there is a ding in the tank, like a little scratch. It's almost like someone's key has scratched that. That's going to need work. That's going to need some form of rubbing down and repainting. Things like the headstock could do with a bit of a polish up. This is the steering damper, and there's a little bit of corrosion on the end. I've ordered a new one of those off of eBay for £27. It's obviously new used, but I'm going to get a replacement one of those. Wheels, I think I'm going to get painted the same colour as the frame. That light off gold would look really nice on those. Having said that, when Dave got me on a rolling shot, these looked really nice, so undecided yet. I have already got a fresh bulb kit on the way, so just the headlight bulbs, indicator bulbs, stuff like that. They all work, but I assume they're quite old. So there's a few little bits I want to do, but for the most part, I want to keep it pretty stock. I want it to look really stock. I want it to be clean AF, as the kids say. I'm not too worried about originality for this specific bike, but I do want it to be period correct. There are a lot of things about these bikes that I just really like, that they've got a story, there's something behind them. Again, it's why I went for the 916, because of the history behind the 916. Even just really simple things like this one is one of the early models. This is actually Cagiva red, not Ducati red, because the early models of the 916s were actually made in the Cagiva factory before Ducati were bought out. And there's little hints to that, like on the fuel cap, where you have a tiny little elephant, which is obviously the Cagiva logo. Quite nice to have as a little relic of history and something to tell people and tell your grandkids and stuff like that. Not that I've got kids anyway. I know a dry clutch is the epitome of Ducati, of this era especially. I think when they're open dry clutches and they're overly loud, they sound like a bag of spanners. And I think it sounds shit. I'm sorry, I said it. Luckily on this one, it's a closed clutch, so it only comes out a bit ticky on camera, but in person it's quite a thuddy kind of noise. Obviously you only actually hear it when it's in neutral and the clutch is out, so it's not really the end of the world. But let's start it up, shall we? Some of you who will know your Ducatis will have just noticed that I've started that on the side stand. Now, all of these early Ducatis had no side stand switches, so they had a suicide side stand, meaning the second you take the weight off it, it pings up. Really irritating, led to a lot of people dropping them, but it also meant you couldn't start the bike up on the side stand. It's on the side stand. So what one of the previous owners has clearly done has bypassed that switch, meaning that I have a standard side stand now, which is really, really useful, and I can warm it up on the side stand, which is absolutely ideal. I'm in my helmet now. One of the reasons I wanted to buy something like this is because all of these new bikes are just stupid fast. So I bought something like this as a way of, you know, I'm going to buy something like this, so I'm not going to ride it fast. It's going to make me slow down a bit, it's going to make me appreciate it, blah blah blah. Which is all well and good in theory, because I sit there going, oh yeah, it's fine, it's a 1995 bike, it's only got 108 horsepower or whatever it's got. It's still a sports bike, so it's still very, very fast. I took it over to Germany, you know, to test this out, but it will happily cruise at 95, 100 mile an hour without even being halfway up the revs. Maybe I won't be doing as many wheelies off roundabouts, but yeah, the speed thing is still there. So yes, let's ride it home. It's not actually as uncomfortable as I thought it was going to be. It's definitely uncomfortable, but it's not as uncomfortable. Oh, before we go anywhere, oh my god, it sounds so bloody good. Right, let's try not to crash it going up here on this green laney bit. Let's use my off-road skills. How many people could say they take their 30-year-old 916 off-road? I've got quite a large plan for it next year, so I need to get used to the riding position. I need to get very used to the riding position, because that's gonna hurt a lot. Oh god, it sounds heavenly. Oh my god. Just have to be careful because it doesn't have any traction control, ABS or anything. But it's such a raw experience. I think the last person that rode this properly had it set up for track use. It is quite stiff on the old suspenders. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. And I got these roads, this bike, and this soundtrack. Oh. Same kind of attraction as the monkey is. You park it somewhere and everyone walks past taking photos of it. Oh look, the lights actually work. That's a big plus. Steve from a bike thing said that this is nowhere near as loud as his 996, so I dread to think how loud his is. Like Emma said last night that as I pulled up on the drive, she could just hear the thudding from a couple of streets away. Oh, have I left my sunglasses somewhere? I think I left my sunglasses on the floor. Oh no, what a shame, I've got to go back. What a shame. No quick shifters, no electronic suspension, no ABS, traction control, slip control, rider modes, none of that. Just me, the bike, and hope that I don't run out of talent. I do think I'm getting more used to the position already, which is nice. Oh my god! The noise of it! She is really not slow. 29 years old. This thing's older than my brother. Yes, it's here. Bonk bonk. Remember Sam, you're not on an adventure bike. I could leave the Ducati up here, couldn't I? Instead of risking dropping it. Please do not fall over. Please stay. Stay. I'm watching you. Oh my god. My knees aren't made for this, I'm getting old now. Down here somewhere. I swear to god if I find out that I've left them in my pocket. Oh, there they are. There they are. Don't worry people. We're good. Oh my god, I'm knackered. Oh, is this what running is? God, you're unfit for now. Oh my god, that's a good picture. Oh, I'm knackered. Oh, the sun on it there. Or the evening. Look at that, on the button. Oh, listen to it. I'm very, very happy with this thing. In the next few weeks you will see my collection video of this. I pick it up from the bike specialist up in Sheffield and ride it 150 odd miles home. So thank you very, very much for joining me. But yes, let me know what you think. A little bit off kilter, I guess. A little bit off brand. Welcome to my Ducati 916 Monoposto. Ah, love it. Right, see ya in next week's video. Bye!